Welcome back to the Boot Tragedies. Finally, we're back with some type of football news going into the 2023-2024 season for the Saints, and it started off with the first day of OTAs. Now, 80 of the 89 players currently on the roster showed up, which is really, really good numbers. We got some vets that did miss. Kind of interested to see why the Saints only have 89 players instead of the 90, but that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about the guys that missed. You can start off Taysom Hill. He wasn't out there. Taysom Hill, he's been here for a minute. He knows his role. He knows the playbook. I'm sure he'll be there eventually. Not too worried about Taysom Hill missing. That's just is what it is. Michael Thomas, another guy missing. Unfortunately, Michael Thomas wasn't there. Would love to see Michael Thomas in the building, even if he's not doing anything. But it's May. It's early. He'll be there when training camp starts. It's like nothing going on there. But it would have been nice to see Michael Thomas in the building. Marshawn Lattimore, another guy wasn't there. Look, the first three guys I rattled off, they weren't there. It just is what it is. You got Alvin Kamara, also wasn't there. He doesn't really need to be there anyway. Then you have JT Gray. I would expect the JT Gray to be there, but he wasn't there. Also another vet. Great special teams ace for us. Demario Davis, also another guy, doesn't need to be there. Ryan Ramchick wasn't there. James Hurst, another vet. Andres Pete wasn't there, another vet. Nothing surprised me. Only one that shocked us was Nick Saldiveri, the rookie, but it did come out that he had a calf injury. Obviously, you don't want to start off your NFL career with that. Don't want to get behind the 8-ball. Calf injury. Dennis Allen didn't go into detail. He was asked about it in his press conference after. Didn't go into detail about it, but you don't want the rookie starting off with that, with that injury. Hopefully he heals up quick and is ready to be back out there. Now, guys that were out there that didn't participate, you got Kendre Miller, the rookie running back. Has been dealing with an injury since rookie minicamp. Don't know what it is. I think it was a knee, if I remember correctly. Hopefully he's good to go. Eno Benjamin, another guy that was out there. But the two guys that I'm most intrigued about that didn't participate but was out there, on the side off, doing things. Cesar Ruiz and Trevor Penning, two big parts of this Saints team. Two guys that are going to have to be good for the Saints to be successful this upcoming season. Offensive linemen. You got 2 first-round picks right there, man. Both on the sideline. This is kind of reminds me of Marcus Davenport and Peyton Turner. 2 guys starting the year on the sideline, hurt. Need to be out there. Not saying they're going down that path by any means, but you never want to see guys off to the side. You want to see guys, at full strength once we start up and out there. But Dennis Allen did say he expect both of those guys to be ready for training camp. So Ruiz got hurt last game of the season. I forgot when Penny got hurt, but it was towards the end of the season. He just had an injury-riddled rookie season just from the get-go. So hopefully those 2 guys, get healthy, get up to speed, because I'm ready to see everybody out there full strength. Before I continue, don't forget about the giveaway. We're almost at 10K, man. If you're not in the Discord, if you're not subscribed to the channel, you can't be a part of the giveaway. We'll be having a giveaway very, very soon. So, hey, join the Discord. Link is in the description. But before I continue, we're going to keep going about the Saints OTAs, but I do want to give a shout out to John Hendricks. That's basically where I get all my information. I mean, I look at Nick Underhill. I look at him, Ross Jackson, anybody. I mean, obviously the Saints Twitter, but for the most part, John Hendricks, he writes for SI. I always look at his stuff. So basically the stuff I'm going to be going over is basically coming from his article there. I'll put that link in the description if you want to just read it yourself. Now we're going to talk about the starting lineup. He did post a starting lineup that they had. It's very, very early for a starting lineup. So obviously this matters about 0.0001%. But right now, this was the starting defense. Obviously, you have Cam Jordan, who was there. And at the defensive tackle, you had Nathan Shepard and Kalen Saunders getting the nod over Brian Bresee, which is obvious. You got a rookie coming in. He's not just going to go out there and get the first reps. Then you have Carl Granderson as well, getting the start over, Peyton Turner, Isaiah Foskey, or whoever you want to put on the other end. So that's with the front 4. Then you had DeMarco Jackson, who we drafted last year, a guy that I'm excited to see. Hopefully he's healthy this year. And Pete Warner starting at linebacker. Obviously, when Demario Davis comes back, that's his job. That's, nothing to see there. Bradley Roby started in the slot. No shock there. Adebo and Alante Taylor on the outside. That's kind of what I said actually in my video yesterday, that if Lattimore's probably not going to be there, which he wasn't there today, and if he's probably going to miss some time in the offseason just because he's an all-pro guy, he doesn't really need, to do everything, then those 2 guys are probably going to be the outside corner, and they're probably going to battle for those spots. So from day one, they both started at outside corner, and it's going to be a long, long battle for those 2 guys, throughout the season. Then at safeties, you had Marcus May and Tyrann Mathieu at safety. So basically, man, you got Demario Davis missing, you have Marshawn Lattimore missing, but everybody else for that defense is basically out there. You got 9 of your 10 starters at least out there already, so that's pretty good. Those guys need to, get some rhythm, get some, chemistry going, and that defense is going to be really, really solid this year. Hopefully that front 4 is better than last year, just because that was about the only thing lacking, on all defensive side of the ball last year. Now, where it's going to get spicy, throughout training camp, throughout OTAs, throughout just the entirety of the season is that offensive side of the ball. The offensive line is basically, I won't say the starters are penciled in because you still have kind of James Hurst versus Trevor Penning, in my opinion. But they still start off today, with all those guys out. You had Hurst out, you got Penning out, you got Ruiz out, Ramchick. None of those guys were there or they weren't participating. So they started off with Landon Young, Yasir Durant, Eric McCoy, Kelvin Throckmorton, and Storm Norton. Jamal Williams, obviously, was your running back one without Alvin Kamara there. Then at the receiver position, this is where it's going to be interesting all season. You had Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave as, wide receiver ones and twos. Now, I'm going to pause right here. Now, I know everyone knows that Rashid Shaheed is probably, he's wide receiver 2 if MT's not there. He's wide receiver 3 if MT is there. But, man, you just never know with the Saints. The way they sparingly used him last year, maybe they didn't, expect him to be a full-time receiver. Him coming out there starting day one as wide receiver 2 behind Chris Olave is a very, very good sign. Like I said, when Michael Thomas comes back, it's going to be a lot of 3 receiver sets. That's going to be good. Derek Carr definitely mentioned both of those guys in his press conference, and those guys can fly, but they're also really good football players, can run good routes. So I'm excited to see Rashid Shaheed step into this full-time, receiver role, which the Saints, I won't say they didn't give him that opportunity last year because he was hurt. He did come on to the scene late, so maybe he just wasn't fully grasped, and they just didn't want to put too much on a rookie's plate coming off an ACL injury, a guy that they believe in. So, they kind of limited him last year. So coming into this season healthy, we got to realize Rashid Shaheed was not healthy coming into last year. He didn't get the OTAs and the training camps and all this because he had that, ACL injury. He didn't start back until October, November. That's when he finally started getting healthy, finally be able to play. So now the sky's the limit for him. He's going to have a full all season under his belt. Finally getting healthy, full-time receiver, not just a return guy. I think the sky's the limit for Rashid Shaheed. So I'm super, super excited. Then you had Juwan Johnson, Foster Moreau, both out there at tight end. Like I said previously, we don't have a tight end one. Both of those guys are tight end one. I don't think we're not going to be a super, super tight end heavy offense, but the tight ends will be reliable and the tight ends will be capable. Like, I just wouldn't shock me if Juwan Johnson week 1 had 10 catches for 85 yards and a touchdown, but then had 1 catch the next week because, Foster Moreau had 7 catches for 60 yards and a touchdown. I can see them stats flip-flopping, depending on mismatches, how teams are guarding them, but we can run a lot of 2 tight end sets, and that's good. So that's very, very good to see. Then you had Adam Prentice at fullback, obviously, but they did, John Hendricks did say Brian Edwards with the early, wide receiver 3 pecking order, but it's very, very early. It's a lot of guys fighting for that job, which is basically wide receiver 4. But you got Brian Ayers with the first crack at it. He's a vet in this league, played with Derek Carr. That doesn't shock me at all. But I'm super, super excited for these other guys to get a chance, from James Washington to A.T. Perry's, Shaq Davis, whoever you want to name, man. Super, super excited for all these guys to get a chance to, crack at that wide receiver 4 spot. Hopefully the Saints just have an open competition and may the best man win. I don't like when, they just show favoritism with guys that haven't produced in a long, long time. They just keep throwing them out there and they keep getting the same results. If a guy that's better is better, play him. That's all we ask for as fans, man. We just want the best man to win. Couple more things before I get out of here, man. Jameis Winston, he's healthy this summer. He had that knee brace when he first started last year. Coming in as quarterback 1, we obviously know how that turned out with Andy Dalton, him, and the whole fiasco that happened. But he's out there, he's healthy, and I still think he's probably going to be the best backup quarterback in the NFL. So that's good. The Saints are going to need him to be healthy just in case. You never want anything to happen to your quarterback 1. But he'll be out there, he'll be healthy, and that's super, super good for the Saints. And he's been in the system for a minute now, so he can actually help Derek Carr if he needs to help, learn the system, learn the plays, and things like that. It's always good to have a really, really good quarterback room. And I'm just glad he's healthy, man. He looks good out there. He was moving well, some of the videos I saw. And the punt returners. We did have 3 punt returners back there. Chris Olave is crazy. Rashid Shaheed and Malik Flowers. Malik Flowers, I keep saying it's a name you should not sleep on, especially if the Saints want Rashid Shaheed to be that full-time receiver. If he's receiver 3, MT's not fully healthy to start the season, or if you never know, he may get hurt, knock on wood. Hopefully it doesn't. And Rashid Shaheed has to be wide receiver 2. You really don't want to put him in that return game, or you also don't want to put Chris Olave in that return game if he's going to be a wide receiver 1 type guy. So Malik Flowers is a name to watch to make this roster. Also, in Dennis Allen's press conference after practice, he did mention Lucas Krull, who I, did a video on, a guy that I think has real potential at that tight end position. Dennis Allen basically said that if he can block, he can play. That's basically what he said. If he can block, he can play. We have receiving threats in Jawan Johnson and Foster Moreau. Jawan Johnson's not that great of a blocker. So if Lucas Krull can block, he will play. You also have Taysom Hill there, who's not going to be a blocker like that. So if Lucas Krull can come out there and show some type of blocking ability, he may be able to step on the field, in some situations. That's basically what Dennis Allen said, and you won't be able to tell that until they put pads on. So hopefully, I think he has all the potential in the world. He's not going to pass up Monroe or Jawan Johnson on the depth chart, but he could be a sneaky good tight end 3 for us this year. And you never, like I said, injuries will happen. Injuries will happen to, basically every position on the football field. So you're going to always need to have some depth, have some backup guys. So hopefully Krull can come out there and show something. And you never know, man. If he's athletic enough, you're going to need him on special teams, punt protections and things like that. The Saints don't have another tight end after him. So he's probably going to make the team if the, roster stays the same, which it never will. So definitely looking forward to see him in training camp. He's like in my top 5 of guys I want to see this training camp. Also, I saw that Will Lutz went perfect on field goal attempts. Good for Will Lutz. Doesn't mean anything, but first day of practice, you're making all your kicks. You can't complain with somebody make all their kicks. Can't complain. So it's a good start for him. Obviously, a long summer to go, long training camp to go, but that's a good start for Will Lutz just to getting off on a good foot and getting some momentum going into the season. I also, last but not least, because he is a fan favorite, I think I mentioned some fan favorites today. We got Taysom out the way. We got Jameis out the way. I did see, I think Ross Jackson tweeted that Smoke Monday was out there. Now, the Smoke Monday hype, I might take a little credit for that, man, because for an undrafted guy, for the fan base to just know him like that is just kind of crazy. I think my video did have something to do with that. I did a nice little video on him. It did very, very well. And hopefully he's good. Hopefully he's just a good football player. Obviously got hurt last year, wasn't able to play for the Saints. So, man, hopefully he can come out there. The safety we're thin, so he has a really, really good chance to make this roster, go out there and compete. So, hopefully he's a good player for us, man. I'm just happy he's healthy. Help he, get the chance to make a roster. You never... guys are going to get cut. It's 90 guys on the team. You got to get down to 53. That's just the business. That's just the way it is in the NFL. And you just want guys, to at least have a chance to compete. You don't want guys to get hurt. If you're going to beat me out, and we're both healthy, and we both have a chance. So hopefully he's healthy. Hopefully he gets a good chance to make this roster, and then we'll see what happens. And I know most of y'all, just like I was following the, all the news, all the videos, any type of content we could get from the Saints. We were probably all on it today. And we got something. First day of OTAs, man. I'm sure y'all will finding stuff. Y'all probably, got stuff that I didn't see. I did see Derek Carr was 8 for 8. I did see Nick Underhill, tweeted that. Book your Super Bowl tickets right now, baby, because Saints going all the way. But in all seriousness, man, thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, this is the Boo Tragedies, and I'm out.